is NBC4 News at 11.
And right now at 11, another terrifying plane crash, this time on a snowy, windy and icy runway in Toronto. You can see that Delta jet here upside down. Every passenger, though, buckled into their seat. And tonight, for the first time, we are seeing the frantic moments when flight attendants got those passengers out.
Everything, drop it. Come on.
In all, 80 passengers and crew were on board when that plane crash landed, caught fire, and skidded across the runway. NBC4's Robert Kovacic is in studio now with us with more on the investigation and how those passengers are doing. Robert.
Carolyn, first, this is a look inside Canada's busiest airport tonight. Air travel still impacted almost 12 hours later, and that includes flights coming right here to Southern California. Half a dozen canceled from Toronto Pearson International to LAX, others diverted, others delayed. Now, we're about to show you video of the plane landing, and when you see it, it is remarkable that at this hour, there are no reported fatalities, and that passengers and crew were actually able to walk away. This new video obtained by TMZ shows the moment of impact and the explosion that follows. As you watch closely again, when the plane crashes onto the runway, there is an immediate fireball. And this, the result.
Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
That's the voice of Jeff Nelson, a passenger on that Delta flight, now lying upside down on the runway, an Endeavour Air regional jet that had just arrived from Minneapolis.
This airplane just crashed into 3.
Immediately after the terrifying landing with visible flames and thick black smoke, firefighters smothered the scene in foam. The right wing ripped off, the fuselage bearing what appeared to be skid or soot marks.
Everything, drop it.
All 80 people on board managed to escape through the emergency exits.
I was walking to this fence and I could see a CRJ that is possibly crashed on the airport. The airplane is flipped.
The rush to help, ambulances and choppers enlisted to airlift the injured.
I've seen a few people on stretchers that we have transported. I have seen one person with a sling on their arm, and I've seen others that are just potentially exposure type injuries because it is very cold here.
Tonight, Toronto's fire chief providing further clarification.
We can now confirm that 18 injured passengers have been transported to the local area hospitals.
The plane, a Bombardier CRJ 900 regional jet made in Canada, is a workhorse for short-haul regional flights worldwide. At the time of the crash, 18 degrees, up to 30-mile-per-hour winds. The question for investigators, how and why did the plane lose at least one, maybe both wings on landing, then flip over, causing jet fuel to spill onto the runway? An investigation that will be led by the Canadian Transportation Safety Board, with both the USA, FAA, and NTSB assisting. Delta Airlines releasing the statement you see right here. Our primary focus is taking care of those impacted. The flight was carrying a total of 80 people, 76 passengers, and 4 crew. All Delta flights in and out of Toronto Pearson have been canceled this day. And as this investigation moves forward, late tonight, Toronto Pearson's fire chief said the runway was dry at the time of the crash with no crosswind conditions. I'm Robert Kovacic. Carolyn?
Robert, thank you. New tonight, detectives are searching for the thieves they say targeted nearly a dozen businesses in Santa Clarita early this morning. Most of these crimes were caught on camera. NBC4's Tracy Leong live in Santa Clarita now, where she spoke to several of the business owners about what happened. Tracy.
Yeah, Carolyn, and all these burglaries happened within a matter of minutes at each one of these restaurants, and deputies believe it's the same 3 men who committed all these crimes. Business owners, they tell us they feel violated and they hope they're caught before they strike again. Caught on camera, 3 men breaking into the restaurant Wicked Chicken in Santa Clarita around 3:40 Monday morning. They smashed the front glass door, ran inside, ripped out the cash registers, and escaped in less than 2 minutes.
There was glass all over the restaurant, pretty far back, as a matter of fact. Cash boxes and registers were torn apart, so a lot of damage. What they took us a fraction of what it's going to cost to get everything back in order.
Shortly after, deputies notified Tony Cunado of the break-in. He rushed over to the restaurant to see the damage. He was shocked to find out their place was just one of 11 targeted in the area.
Pretty frustrating. It saddens me to think that they feel like it's an open market that they can do that kind of thing.
About 20 minutes earlier, deputies believe the same group of men also broke into Venice Pizzeria. You see the burglars kicking out the front glass door before running in to steal a cash register.
This is making the fourth time that the business and the church, because I'm also the pastor, and the church that is being attacked.
Christopher Ithakpemi owns Venice Pizzeria and is also a pastor at a nearby church, where his business helps to supply food to people in need. He's worried about how this will impact the families who rely on his restaurant and the safety of his community.
It's really tough to see this kind of a thing in our city.
And less than 5 miles away and about 25 minutes earlier, detectives believe the same thieves smashed their way into DeMarco's Pizza, stealing their cash registers as well.
About $4,000. Yeah, they broke my register, my printer, and our door.
The LA County Sheriff's Department is searching for 3 men behind these targeted burglaries at 11 different restaurants spread across Santa Clarita. The business owners hoping someone recognizes them and sending this message to those responsible.
They need to don't take what it's not yours. It's so hard for us to come every day and leave our family behind to make a living, and it's not fair.
Deputies did not release the description of a vehicle that the burglars used, but they're hoping witnesses will come forward either describing the car or these 3 men and contact them. Reporting live in Santa Clarita, Tracy Lingong, NBC 4 News.
Thank you, Tracy. Tomorrow, LAUSD officially enters a new era, no cell phones in class. All schools will be under the district-mandated ban, although some have already implemented the no cell phone policy. NBC4's Darsha Phillips joins us now from Hamilton High School in Palms with what the district is hoping to see. Darsha.
Yeah, Carolyn, getting a teen to part with one of these is no easy task, and LAUSD is taking on that challenge, banning all cell phones in schools. The deadline for schools to adopt a ban is tomorrow.
Tuesday is the deadline for all schools in the Los Angeles Unified School District to adopt a cell phone ban policy. The ban, which was passed in 2024, is aimed at improving the educational environment by limiting the use of cell phones and social media during school hours.
It is well known based on medical research that the levels of anxiety, depression, social ideation, even cyberbullying are a direct result of students, young people's addiction to cellular phones.
LAUSD Superintendent of Schools Alberto Carvalho says about 50% of schools are using the honor system, allowing students to keep cell phones and smart devices with them and trusting they will not use them during school hours. Other schools are taking a different approach.
50% of our schools obtained pouches that magnetically seal the phone during the day. The phone is still in the possession of the student, but inside of that guarded pouch.
Carvalho says the ban aims to improve the educational environment by limiting distractions, boosting attention in the classroom, and decreasing dependence on devices.
Let's give this a chance. Let's restore back to kids their childhood. Let's remove from their lives this pervasive addiction to not only the phones, but social media entities that create an environment of addiction with our students.
Now, the deadline for schools to adopt the ban is tomorrow, but many schools have already rolled out a policy. Reporting live tonight near Palms, I'm Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
A major cleanup effort is now underway along Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, damaged in last week's powerful storm. Some businesses still have mud all over their properties. NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi reports now from Malibu.
piles of mud getting shoveled out from Duke's Malibu. A mudslide last week left behind extensive damage at the iconic seasonal restaurant spared in both the Franklin and Palisades fires.
It's kind of been 3 punches.
General Manager Jimmy Chavez says its doors have been closed since January 7th, and now
We're a family here, so it's just hard to lose your core.
the reopening is getting pushed back.
And we were right about the end of the remediation process with the Palisades fire. About 3 more days and we would have maybe been able to get open, and then the mudslide.
Chavez says support is being offered for employees as they wait on next steps.
It's pretty difficult. They were already kind of waiting for about 5 weeks for the restaurant to reopen from the fire. We're trying to do our best, provide all the resources we have. We have our own foundation that was able to raise some funds for our employees that lost their homes in the fire.
And across the street on PCH, more mud can be seen surrounding this flower shop and boutique clothing store.
It's a lot more than I expected, but we just have a lot of work to do. We'll get there. No Doubt in concert on VHS.
Hannah Massey says she is grateful her store is still standing. She has been looking through her mud-covered vintage magazines, assessing the damage.
I think this one made it. I think we have about 4 feet of mud in there, so we're shoveling it out with wheelbarrows.
A Malibu community having to start over and supporting each other through the process.
We're going to try to be like a hub for the community, a place for people to come, free flowers, free coffee.
Floods and fires, we've been through a lot of that in our 30 years here. And I would just say that if you can, you got to bear down and make it through. This community will fight back.
Camilla Rambaldi, NBC 4 News.
Calabasas says no way!
Calabasas says no way!
More than 100 people came together to protest the county's decision to bring some of the Palisades fire debris to this Calabasas landfill. Now, the concern is about the nearby schools, parks, and homes, which could be exposed to hazardous materials. The Calabasas City Council voted to file a lawsuit against the county, hoping to put a stop to this plan before it starts. Mayor Peter Kraut said they learned last week that fire debris would arrive at the landfill this week.
The biggest concern is that we're taking an environmental cleanup, an environmental hazard from this fire, and we're picking it up from one community and just going to drop it into another community.
The county's Board of Supervisors was expected to discuss this decision tomorrow, but the item has since been removed from the agenda. Well, think about this. Starting today, about 1,500 truckloads of debris will be removed every day from neighborhoods in Altadena. It's all part of phase 2 of the cleanup process there. In all, it's estimated some 2.5 million tons of debris will be removed from the nearly 94 homes and buildings destroyed. Let's take a look outside. This is a live view from our camera atop Mount Wilson. David mentioned some fog, and it does look a little bit murky out there. And he's here now with a check of your first alert forecast.
Yeah, Carolyn, I was about to say, you can't really see too many city lights right now from a Mount Wilson camera, just a bit off in the distance. And that's because we have a low cloud deck that's banked in against the San Gabriel Mountains right now. We're expecting more of that as we go through the next couple of hours. My system is a little locked up here, so hold on one second. Let me just walk back here for a sec. All right, now we'll advance this through here. You can actually see, if you look toward the Hemet area, that we have right now about quarter-mile visibility currently, but around the rest of the region, the visibility hasn't dropped off just yet, but that will change as we go through the overnight hours. Temperatures continue to cool down right now. 54 degrees in West Covina, 53 degrees in Riverside, 56 degrees in Long Beach, and 57 in LAX. So for the morning, expect early morning low clouds and fog. So essentially what you have in Hemet right now, that quarter-mile visibility, we might see that in a few other locations. By the afternoon, though, we will clear out, but we'll have a couple of high clouds up above. No rain in the 7-day forecast, though. And then by the end of the week, we have a warming trend coming our way, and I've got details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
We'll see you shortly, David. Still ahead at 11, thousands march downtown against the Trump administration's immigration policies, the changes they want. And a young dancer is doing what she loves again after doctors removed a rare tumor. And it wasn't just the medical staff that helped with her treatment. The reunion coming up. Hundreds of people filled the streets in downtown LA today for what's being called the Great March. It started at Plaza Alvera and ended at City Hall. Marchers rallying against the Trump administration's plans for mass deportation of undocumented immigrants.
Here because I come from a line of immigrants. I'm here to represent them. They came here to give me a better life, and I'm doing my best to do and show that because they came here for a reason.
Not making ourselves heard, but hopefully making waves across the country.
Organizers say there will be more marches to protest mass deportations and the separation of families. Some 300 members of the FAA are out of work tonight after being fired by the Trump administration. They were let go by email Friday night. Among those fired were people who handled maintenance for radar, landing, and navigational aid. The head of the aviation safety specialist says it's dangerous given the agency's current understaffing.
You can't introduce risk into the national airspace system. We always talk about lining up those holes of the Swiss cheese, and that would be an enormous hole in that piece of Swiss cheese.
Now, tonight, in a tweet, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said 0 air traffic controllers or critical safety personnel were let go. Tomorrow, Metro will expand its Tap to Exit program to Union Station travelers. This will impact Metro lines B and D. That means travelers will need to tap their cards when entering and exiting the station, but they'll pay only once when they arrive. Metro has seen success in this program in North Hollywood and Santa Monica. They say it has helped lower the crime rate and increased fare compliance. Let's take you outside once again. Beautiful view from our camera in Long Beach tonight. Meteorologist David Bigger is here with a check of the first alert forecast. So nice to see these warmer temperatures by week's end.
Yeah, so we have some really nice temperatures coming our way by the end of the week and into the weekend. One thing, though, before we get there, take a look at behind you. You notice we kind of chopped off some of the buildings here in downtown. That's some of the low cloud cover and fog that's coming our way for early tomorrow morning. So by 7 a.m., this is what it looks like. And you'll notice that it's mainly confined to the basin, some parts of Orange County, but the IE, San Gabriel Valley, and San Fernando Valley as well. Not necessarily really widespread over Ventura County. I think we might have a patch or two, but I think the main areas that we're watching are around LA County into the IE as well as Orange County. Now, as we go through the morning hours, I think we'll clear up pretty quickly. So by the time we get to 9, 10 o'clock, we've already got some sunshine, although it might be some hazy sunshine. That marine layer now back in place means that we're going to start trapping all the particulates and pollution down by the surface again. So expect the days to get hazier and hazier for the next few mornings. But here's what we're looking at by noon. You'll notice there's a little bit of shading on the map here. This is high cloud cover that's starting to stream into the region. And depending on the timing of this high cloud cover, it might actually impact the clearing from the low clouds in the morning. If we get it early enough, the low clouds may linger a little bit later into the early afternoon. But by the late afternoon, evening, we should have some sunshine out there with some high clouds mixed in. Might make for another pretty sunset, sort of like what we had tonight with that beautiful pink sunset outside. And then as we go from Tuesday into Wednesday, you'll notice a big increase of the cloud cover. Not seeing any spots of green, though. We'll see even more clouds passing by as we go through the day. It's all high cloud cover associated with a weather system that's going to pass to our north. It's this weather system right here, but we have high pressure sitting off to our southwest. That's got the jet stream pushed up to the north, and essentially that area of low pressure is going to bounce off the top of that and move through the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. So we'll see some light rain in the northern half of the state into maybe the Pacific Northwest as well. But for us, we stay dry and we just get cloud cover. Another area of low pressure is going to line up over the Pacific, going to get nowhere near us. And that's because this high pressure will keep building over the west coast as we head through the remainder of the week. And that will drive a warming trend. But for tomorrow, temperatures will be pretty close to today. We're looking at the upper 60s and the low 70s with 71 degrees in Van Nuys, 67 in downtown LA, 71 degrees in Riverside. But check out the 7-day forecast here. Basin on top, coastline down below. Tomorrow, some patchy fog throughout the morning hours. We'll see some more fog again for Wednesday morning and for Thursday morning. But I want you to note the warming trend coming our way. By the end of the week and into the start of next week, we're back into the upper 70s. That's about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Also, with that high pressure building in, we eliminate the marine layer. So we're back to sunny skies as we get into the weekend and into the start of next week. Look at the inland spots. Valleys on top, IE down below. We've got some fog for tomorrow morning. We may get a couple more patches for early Wednesday and Thursday morning, but maybe not as extensive as tomorrow. As we get toward the weekend, though, look at the warming trend coming our way. Upper 70s and the low 80s potentially in the forecast as we get into the start of next week. High desert on top, low desert forecast down below. For the next couple of days, it's just some passing high clouds. Sunny as we get into the weekend and warmer temperatures for next week. And as we bring in the mountains, the other thing I'll mention here, You're not seeing any rain in the 7-day forecast. We're not looking at any chances of rain or snow all the way through at least the next week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. So for the mountains, it's just 50s for the next couple of days, upper 50s and low 60s next week. That's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back after this break.
A 12-year-old dancer is back doing what she loves thanks to a life-saving surgery to remove a rare tumor. Hetty Chang has the story you'll see for the first time and only on 4.
This is a happy hospital visit for Lauren Torres. Nearly a year after her surgery, she's back at UCI Medical Center to thank her doctors and nurses for saving her life. And Lulu and Pixel, the therapy dogs that helped her recover.
They were really helpful because they just had helped me get my mind off everything that was going on.
Even at just 12 years old, Lauren is well known around the hospital for handling her surgery and diagnosis like a pro. The talented dancer from Corona is petite, and had it not been for her small size, doctors may not have discovered the very large tumor in her abdomen when they did in November 2022.
I was feeling perfectly fine and everything was good, so I was just going for my normal checkup. But then my doctor, she was feeling around my stomach, and then she felt a bump.
That bump turned out to be a tumor the size of a baseball, which doctors said could have become cancerous if they didn't remove it quickly.
Lauren had what was called a pseudopapillary tumor of the pancreas. Normally, when it does occur, it occurs in women who are in the 20 to 30-year-old age group. So in somebody her age at 12 years old, it's an exceptionally unusual finding.
The surgery was not without complications. Lauren had a life-threatening allergic reaction to the anesthesia. But after 12 days at the hospital, the 12-year-old was on her road to recovery.
I'm just so happy that she dealt with everything the way she did, because sometimes you're handed things in life and you just don't know what's going to happen to you.
Lauren is expected to live a normal, healthy life, and she's back on the dance stage again. But today, Lauren is shining the spotlight.
Thank you.
On her medical team.
I just knew I was going to be safe because I knew there was a lot of people around there who knew what they were doing.
Lauren's parents tell us they only learned of 2 other kids in the entire country with that same rare tumor. They say they want to give other families hope. In Orange, Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
9 different nations are represented inside the Dodgers clubhouse, plus we'll put the players' presidential knowledge to the test. Next on the NBC4 Sports Desk.
This is the Yamava Sports Desk on NBC4 with Mario Solis.
Hello from a chilly Arizona for some Dodger fans. This is a yearly ritual, spring training at Camelback Ranch in Glendale, Arizona. Hundreds of fans showing up as early as 7 a.m. for a noon workout. Crowds posting up at different spots to get a close look at players as they enter or exit the 2 practice fields. Others migrating as their favorite stars move around from hitting to fielding to pitching. It's a wild scene.
Yeah, it's insane. Last year was pretty crowded, a lot of people, but this year's a lot more. It's been pretty awesome so far.
Yeah, it's great. You can kind of feel the excitement for this year, and especially after having won last year, the fans are really getting hyped up for us, and we love having them out here.
And the crowds have been swelling yearly as the Dodgers acquire more and more star players. Yoshi Yamamoto drawing tons of attention today as he gets ready for his 2nd season with the Blue. Fellow Japanese superstar Roki Sasaki is here, so is Shohei and Freddie and Teoscar, all of them from different countries, 9 in total, all forming the UN of the majors, according to this sign. A multinational powerhouse, and it works seamlessly.
It's pretty awesome. You get to learn about a lot of different cultures. We got a lot of guys from different countries on this team. It's pretty cool. We're all just one big family here.
Yeah, fortunately we have a lot of great translators in the clubhouse.
Our culture is pretty easy. It's about winning. It's about taking care of the players and taking care of the families.
It's been fun though. That's what makes baseball great, is playing with people from all different nations and all different backgrounds.
Holding their first full squat workout in Tempe. They're hoping to move past a miserable 2024 in which Mike Trout played only 29 games. 29! The team is trying to keep him on the field as much as possible, so they're moving him from center field to right.
I knew it was coming, but just got used to it. Just look at my last couple of years, just trying to preserve the legs and just, go out there and run some balls down and right, and that's what we came to, and I'm with it.
It'll be interesting to see how that move works out for the Angels. And finally, back to the Dodgers. Today is President's Day, so we wanted to test the players' knowledge of the history of our initial Commanders-in-Chief.
Do you know the first 3 presidents of the United States?
Probably not. George Washington. There you go.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And then, so Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe.
Nice.
Pretty good, right?
There you go. You had Google, though. You cheated. Washington.
Correct. And the second one starts with an A.
Lincoln.
Adams.
Oh, no, yeah.
Adams.
See, I'm already
And then
wrong.
Jefferson. Anyway.
I got George Washington,
Yes.
John Adams, and then would it be Thomas Jefferson?
Gosh, done.
Oh,
Yes, ding, 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 all the way.
Okay, so they may not be perfect at history, but they are great at baseball. We'll see you tomorrow here.
This was the Yamava Sports Desk on NBC4 with Mario Solis.
Today marks the 40th year of the Kingdom Day Parade, a few weeks delayed because of the fires. NBC4's Michael Brownlee and Melissa McGee joined others taking part in this fabulous celebration of MLK. This Tonight Show's up next.